Unless you live inside of a rock, underneath a boulder, both of those located within the center of an isolated cave, then you probably heard of Fourth Wing, right? Yeah, heard a little bit about that one? Yeah. Literally everybody in the book community, book talk, bookstagram, booktube, heard about Fourth Wing. That was one of my top 2 reads of the year. Actually, it was my first fantasy read. Not that anybody asked, just wanted to throw that out there. It took the book community by storm, and I personally think for a very good reason. And when I tell you I haven't stopped thinking about it since I finished it, like, you think I'm kidding, but I'm not. With all that being said, welcome to the Iron Flame rating vlog. I know you can see how beautiful that is. Just look at it. It's so pretty. If you have not read Fourth Wing, this video is not for you. Like, I'm sorry. You need to click off, stop watching. This isn't for you. I do not want to be the one to spoil that splendid book for you, but as soon as we start reading this, you're getting spoilers. If you haven't read Fourth Wing, click off of this video and don't look at the comments. We're talking about the spoilers in this vlog. And in the comments, share your ideas, share your theories, share your thoughts, because the comments and the video itself, spoilers. That's really all I'm saying for this intro. I'm going to be reading this with you guys, sharing thoughts, ideas. I don't do a great job of like guessing endings of books or guessing surprising things because I don't really focus on that. I just read and I vibe out. I don't try to think too far ahead. Welcome to the Iron Flame reading vlog. Let's get into it. Just finished chapter 1. Quick disclaimer, I know Rebecca Yarros recently, there was like an interview and she was talking about how she pronounces all the words, all the terminology and stuff in Fourth Wing, and there's a specific language, like some people got upset because she uses, I don't even remember what the language was called, but she says that the words are in that language, but then she's not pronouncing them as they should be pronounced. I'm just here to say that I read these words and sound them out in English, and whatever I first come up with that makes the most sense, that is what I go with. So there is a 100% chance that I am getting all of these terms wrong, but for the sake of this video, you guys please push that aside. It's not going to be the same as what you think, probably. You will probably say some of these words differently than me. We just gotta agree to disagree because I just want to keep reading. I'm not gonna spend a bunch of time trying to pronounce all the words correctly. Let's respect that. Just finished chapter 1. Violet's been woken up and her, Imogen, I don't remember her name, and Bodhi, who is Xaden's cousin, they were all eavesdropping on like a meeting that was taking place. And it was like Xaden, Brennan, and then some of the other people that are in charge, and they were having like a council meeting and they were talking about Violet and all of them, and so they were just eavesdropping on that. And some of them don't want Violet to be there because obviously her mom rules. I forgot the name of it. She rules where they came from, and she's just trying to tell them that she's there. She's on their side. It's hard for them to trust her, obviously, because like this stuff has happened so quickly, but yeah. That's all that's happened in the first chapter. I can't stop smiling because I'm just so happy to be back in this world. Wait, so at the top of these, I feel like this is something that's going to be really big in this book, but you know at the top how they have these little quotes before each chapter? No, it's a portion from the scrolls, like the scribes in that whole area. This one is talking about the valley that's above Ryerson House, which is the house that they're in right now. And it says that that valley is where 2 of the greatest dragons of their time descended from, Kodaw and Terran? How do we pronounce that dragon's name? I say Terran. He's one of the greatest dragons. We know that, but the fact that it's right above Ryerson House, that's where he descended from. That's so cool to me. Just finished chapter 2, and so far they kind of came up with a plan as to what they're gonna do. Violet, Xaden, Imogen, Garrick, and then we met like a few of the other ones that they just fought with, but they didn't even know their names, but they were all like together during the end of Fourth Wing. They're all deciding they're gonna go back. Something about if they don't show up, they will end up killing everybody that has a rebellion relic, which is like the people that were in Xaden's little clan. Remember that little squad, that secret meeting he was having? All of those people, they would kill them all off if Violet and them don't return. So they're gonna return, but they have to keep all of this a secret. And Dane has that power thing where he like can touch Violet and see her memories. She's gonna have to learn how to block him out and make sure he doesn't touch her. Adarna, that's what I call the little golden dragon, her growing up process was sped up throughout what just took place at the end of Fourth Wing, and so she's not golden anymore now, and everyone says she's in her teenager phase, so she's super feisty and like teenagers, but as a dragon. She's not golden anymore though, and she's growing, like she's gotten 2 times bigger now. Okay, first off, I'm on chapter 3. There's this part and Violet's demanding that Xaden tells her the truth because she has been lied to so much in her life. She's like, I understand that you had to lie to keep me safe and keep people safe, but I am fully committed to this. I'm fully in this, and we have this connection. Tell me the truth no matter what. I don't care if it's gonna harm me. I want to know the truth. And Xaden's telling her, he's like, I'm not gonna be able to. And she's talking about him telling her the truth after she learns how to fully shield people. And she goes, but it's complete and total honesty from now on, or. And then she's like, am I really gonna have to issue an ultimatum to Xaden Ryerson? And he goes, or what? And she says, or I'll get busy unfalling for you. And then he says, good luck with that. I tried it for a good 5 months. Let me know how it works out for you. Why are there so many fire trucks? Anyways, they're back and they made it back in time for graduation. And then the head guy, whatever his name is reading off the death chart, like the people that died at the little battle, like whenever they had that final test to graduate. And he's reading off the death thing and he goes, Garrick Tavis, Xaden Ryerson. And Xaden goes, well, that's awkward. And everybody turns and looks at them. So they thought they were dead, or the people in charge wanted them to be dead, so they were gonna call them as dead. This is gonna be interesting. Guys, guess who just made their appearance in Iron Flame? Dane. I hope he dies. Can we trade out Liam and Dane? Violet and Xaden are like on a break. She doesn't want to be with him because he said he'll never be able to tell her the full truth. And they have to separate now for 7 days because he graduated, so now he's like actually on, like he's an actual writer now, and she's a second year, so she's still in the whole program. Now they're only allowed to be together every 7 days for their dragons, which isn't normal. It's normally 3 days, so that's like not really great for them, and they can tell. Some of the leaders know about all like that secret stuff that took place in Fourth Wing and the whole battle. They know about it, and they know that Xaden, Violet, and a few other people were involved and know stuff, but they can't like talk about it obviously, or it exposes either side. They're about to leave, and like the little embrace that just took place between Violet and Xaden. The chemistry is still there. Xaden Ryerson, holy crap. At the beginning of Fourth Wing, where they had to walk up all these like stairs or something, and then people would write their names down, and then they would go in the parapet. So Violet is like helping write down the names, and this girl named Sloane comes up, and it's Liam's little sister. No, if she dies, aww. Violet's literally like handing Sloane a hair tie because she has like hair and it's windy and it's blowing in her face before she walks on the parapet. And Dane is over here like, Violet, no. Like, dude, you're the reason her brother is dead. Shut up. Just shut up. I know you're the wing leader, but nobody likes you. Like, you have the audacity for her brother to die and then you won't let Violet give her a hair tie? Oh, and Sloane knows that Liam died to save Violet and now she hates her. So she's gonna be trying to kill Violet. She's a go straight to hell. And I really mean that. I hope no one commends your soul to Malik. I hope he rejects it. Liam was worth a dozen of your kind, and I hope you spend eternity paying for what you cost me, what you cost all of us. You know how there's that part where all the dragons fly in and it like scares all the first years and some of them run away and stuff like that, or break formation and then they end up dying? That just happened, and Violet, she heard Terrence say to keep a watch on the orange dragon that has like a slit for one eye or something, and eventually he ends up like shooting fire, and he's not specifically aiming for Violet in them, but Violet sees that and she reacts and she tells everyone to get down. The people in her little squad were safe, and that dragon belongs to Varish. He's like one of the head people of this whole training thing, and he's one of the people that knows all the secrets, and he knows that Violet is a part of it. He knows about Xaden, like he knows that. So that was almost like a threat because it was his dragon, I guess. And so Taryn comes in and he's like, he basically warns that man and that dragon that if they do anything to Violet, Violet saved Liam's little sister when the dragon blasted all the fire. And so I kind of am excited to see that relationship. Right now she obviously hates her, but Violet's already saved her life once, and I think we're gonna see that bond grow. Like, that's kind of like a found family thing I'm looking forward to seeing. I hope that's how it ends up being. Hey guys, time for a few updates. I'm currently on chapter 15. Oh wow, it looks like I've read nothing. Since this video has spoilers, I'm trying so hard to not talk too much to the point where it's annoying, because everyone who's watching this video has already read the book. So I have a few things I want to talk about. First off, assessment day. I forgot what they do specifically, but there was this first year and he came to Violet in her little group and he randomly asked, he was kind of upset, and he randomly asked for Violet and to summon her or something. And then Nadine, which was one of her friends, she answers for Violet and she's like, yeah, I'm Violet. Do you need something? And without any words, he just snaps her neck and she dies. At first I thought after that happened that she would get healed by the healer. Dead. He killed her. He ends up figuring out which person in the group actually is Violet, and they go into a big fight where Violet wins, but she has a lot of injuries obviously because it got really intense. But it was kind of cool because she like proved to some of the new first years, like they finally got to really see her in action and they were like, oh okay. And then after all that happens, Dane, he has the audacity to come up to her and be like, Violet, are you all right? When his dad literally just tried to have her assassinated. Be so for real right now. Be so for real. He is so fake and so annoying. Anytime he opens his mouth and speaks, the anger just enters my system. And then later on, we get to talk about Xaden. Xaden's talking to Violet about, because he got stationed, since he has gone through all of the years and he's kind of graduated, he's now actually, it's like he's actually in the field. So he has one location with his room, and then Violet's still like the main area that all this takes place. So she has a room and she's with Xaden, and she figures out that her room is warded. Like he warded her room to where Violet, Xaden, and anyone that she brings into her room, and it can't even be someone where she's like, oh come on in, she has to hold them and pull them into her room. Those are the people that are allowed into Violet's room. That's how Xaden warded it. And then they end up going to the place where Xaden is living, and Violet comes because you know how their dragons have to like see each other within a certain amount of time or something. She is now wherever he's living. She goes, let me guess, it's warded for sound and to let in you, me, and anyone you tug through. And he goes, no Violet, just you and me. the way he's giving her freedom and the choice to pick, but he already is choosing her and her only. Even though that is a great act, let's remember this one thing that's really annoying me and bothering me is that Violet is asking for the truth, because that's kind of like not a trigger for her, but throughout her whole life, even Fourth Wing, people are always lying to this poor girl, or she's never getting the full truth. And so she's telling him, she's like, I need all the truth. And he keeps telling her, he's like, I tell you the truth. I'll give you the truths that you ask for, but the secrets I have need to be kept. But I completely understand. Like, I'm with Violet right now. I understand she wants all the truth. I know it's hard, especially with things going on. I feel like Xaden shouldn't expect her to want to get back together when her one thing that she wants to happen is for him to be 100% truthful, and he can't be. However, the chemistry is still very much there. Okay, this is so random, but Violet's letter from Mira, her older sister, the way it was censored, which means someone else read it, it was probably Varish. Whoever that head guy is so annoying. Oh my goodness, this man is on their backs. Catriona was mentioned once as Xaden's ex, so maybe we'll hear more about that. Varish, he made this search take place, like where Violet and her stuff had to get searched. I'm pretty sure he did it with, I forgot who he specifically did it with, but it was definitely everyone who was out at that battle. What was that battle called? Because I just keep saying that battle, but you guys know, the one that happens at the end of Fourth Wing. Yeah, so he does this random bag search thing. I don't know, it's just awkward and very suspicious. And then we have the part where Violet, she's back to where Xaden is. She walks in and she's like, what is going on? And she looks down and they're like in a rink or something. People are spectating and it's Xaden and this other guy fighting. Apparently how things work in that area is like you can fight for leadership, and Xaden is fighting so that he can get to that position. I think it gives him the opportunity to have more free time or something. But yeah, it was just hot because like he had his shirt off and everything, and he's fighting so that Gale and Taryn can have more time together, which translates to Xaden and Violet having more time together. So it was like he was fighting out there for time with Violet. You read it, you get it, you understand the tension. Literally just one sentence, but like it just explains Xaden. He has the maddening ability to addict and satisfy. You know my pen came out for that one. I was like, Xaden. Ooh, okay, this is like when they start kissing and like making out in Xaden's room, right? And they're just like, they can't go further. Or no, Violet is like wanting to take it a step further, and she's like, it's fine, like we've done this before, it's been only physical in the past, we can keep it that way. We're gonna use smash. I'm sorry guys. I want you more than my next breath, but I can't smash you into looking at me like you used to. I refuse to use sex as a tool to get you back. He takes my hand and presses it to my chest. Not when I want to be here. And he's saying all this stuff, but it's like, Xaden, you tell her the truth, you're there, you're in, buddy. All your wishes come true. Just be honest. Okay, another part, he says, I'll kiss you whenever you want because my self-control is horrible when you're involved. And she goes, wherever I want? Yes, whenever you want, because I'll live with my mouth attached to yours if I do it whenever I want. But I'm begging you, Violet, don't offer me your body unless you're offering me everything. I want you more than I want to smash you. I want those 3 little words back. Where do I sign up to get this? Let me know. Okay, and then after that, the last thing I have on here is Varish. He ends up having to punish Violet for Adarna not showing up for formation. That was when all the dragons are supposed to come together, and I think Taryn like told Violet, he was like, dragons make their own rules, and then blah 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 blah. But basically, as we know, Adarna's in her deep sleep and she needs the rest right now. However, those people, like the head leadership, they don't need to know that her growth process has sped up that much, because I feel like something about that gives them a clue as to stuff that happened when the battle took place. So he ends up making Violet use her power over and over and over, and it wakes up Adarna. And first off, Violet's really worried that Adarna's gonna try to save her and then fly over there, which we do not need that to happen. Violet literally is dying. Like, she uses up all her power. I think she gets to like 40 strikes of lightning, and like she almost dies. I was getting a little concerned. I didn't think she was gonna die, but I was like, alright guys. But yeah, she gets really close to dying. She doesn't, she recovers, but it is not okay. And if Adarna doesn't show up for the next formation, Violet might die. I feel like give it about 2-3 more chapters and then things are gonna go whoop. I kind of understand the concept of everything going on, but the details, I'm also very lost at the same time. I have like a general idea, but it's also hard to describe things because I can't remember the terms. The terms are so confusing. There's a lot of words I'm not understanding, but I am enjoying it. I don't think I'm enjoying it as much as Fourth Wing because we're not getting those like first impressions of Xaden. Those really carried for the first part of Fourth Wing for me. I loved seeing the tension, and if you know anything about me, you know I love enemies to lovers, and especially the enemies part. There's not as much of that. I'm still enjoying it, and I'm thinking it's gonna pick up soon. This video is gonna take a lot longer to film and edit than I was expecting. I thought it was gonna take a short amount of time. It's not. This is a random update. I've literally read just a few more pages since the last one. First off, Rhiannon, the way she's realized, like she knows Violet so well, the way she's realized that Violet is lying or keeping stuff from her. She knows that Violet's not telling her a lot of stuff. She told Violet, she's like, I'm here. Whenever you're ready to share, I'll be here. Just don't insult me by lying and saying that there isn't stuff you're not sharing with me. But I love Rhiannon, and if anything happens to her, let's not put that in the air. Also, I'm slightly confused as to what the main people who are in charge of this program, I guess you could say, are doing. Rhiannon, she just mentioned, she's like, this year is extra weird. They have guarded infirmary doors. They're developing elixirs to muffle our bonds. Violet was nearly assassinated. It's like they're trying to weaken the writers instead of they're making them stronger, but also doing things to weaken them, and it doesn't make sense, especially taking away the way they could just take away the bond with that elixir that they drank. That something is off about that. Back for another update. It doesn't, if I show you guys, like it doesn't look like I've read that much more. Violet saved Sloane in the rink. She was like, this girl is not gonna survive. So she kind of did the same tactics she did in Fourth Wing when she had to like create potions and kind of weaken her opponents. So she did that for Sloane, and later she catches Sloane at the end and she's like, girlie, you're gonna start training with Imogen. And Sloane of course is like, no, like you don't tell me what to do. I'm fine. I beat them fair and square. And Violet's like, babes, no you didn't. At the beginning of this, when I forgot who it was, but Violet and someone else went into Liam's room, got a bunch of letters and stuff. Apparently those are all letters that he wrote to Sloane, and so Violet says, okay, well, if you train with her every week that you finish training with her daily, I will give you one of the letters that Liam wrote for you. Sloane was like, I thought they burned all his stuff. Nope, they saved the letters. So I just thought that was kind of cool. Taryn ends up going off on Solus. Varish is like one of the head leader guys, the one that's the most annoying, and his dragon is Solus, and one of the orange ones. Taryn ends up going off on him and really like threatening. He has this dragon by the neck, and he's doing this because Varish was gonna punish Violet again for Andarna not showing up another time because she's still sleeping. And so Taryn goes off, and I was like, you go. Like, I don't understand why they mess with Violet so much. Like, you do know who her dragon is, right? You do know she's bonded to the Xaden Ryerson shadow daddy. Like, be smart about it, guys. Come on. There's this part where Violet arrives at Xaden's place, wherever Xaden's stationed. I forget what it's called. And as Violet is walking up to Xaden, they're using like their mind thingy, and he says, tell me to kiss you, even if it's just for show. And then in the book, whenever they're doing their mind thing and communicating, it's in italics. And so in Violet's mind, it said, kiss me, just for show, but kiss me was the only part that was like translated to Xaden. The just for show was what she kept to herself. So to help me, just her to kiss me. I don't know, that was like the smallest little tiniest thing ever, but to me I was like, it's so cute. I loved it. But basically why Xaden was telling her to do that is because Mira was there. You guys obviously remember, but Mira is Violet's sister, and so he wanted Mira to see that really there's a connection there, so that she wouldn't force Violet to stay with her and she could still stay in Xaden's room. Apparently Mira's signet, whatever her like power is, has to do with wards, that type of thing. It's something similar with the warded power, like she can pull wards towards her, or I don't really know. But Violet starts asking her a lot of details about it, and Mira's like, okay, yeah, why are you so curious about this? And she ends up not telling her too much, but now Mira's just a little bit like, what's going on? And then Violet even gets to the point where she was about to tell Mira everything, and she gives her like a little sneak peek, or kind of like a little clue, and Mira's like, that is ridiculous, Violet, like calm down, what are you talking about? Which I feel bad, because Violet really wants her to know what's going on so that she can side with them and know that Brennan exists, because Mira still doesn't even know that her brother's alive. This is the part where I feel like the book is starting to get, like, it's starting to pick up. It's been okay so far, but nothing super exciting has happened. This is where I feel like stuff started to happen. Next match is Dane and Violet. Pause. What? Because remember, Violet has to keep her shield up all the time, especially from Dane, because he cannot get access to her memories in any way, and we know how he is. We know how he is. They end up battling, except the battle it's not as much about winning the battle physically. Dane ends up whispering to her, and he's talking about her and Xaden, of course, because he's so jealous that she chose the obvious better choice. He's kind of testing her on how much she knows about him, and he goes, do you know who carved those wounds into his skin? He sees like a flash of doubt in Violet's face because she doesn't know the answer to that, and then he goes, your mother did it. And of course Violet's like, yeah, he's just saying that to get under my skin, blah 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 blah. I think he is saying it to get under her skin, but there's something to that. I don't know. I wouldn't shoot that idea down. Rhiannon ends up taking Violet, and she's like, girl, tell me the truth. I want Violet to tell her so bad. Of anyone, more than Mira, more than anyone, Rhiannon's gonna side with her. Like, she has to. I don't want them to lose their friendship. I feel like if anyone, Violet needs to tell her. Their friendship is literally about to break, and Rhiannon starts guessing. Like, she's pulled pieces together. She's like realizing what's been happening and how that group of people have been targeted. Some of them have died, and some of the leaders are being harder on the specific people that were out at that battle. She ends up getting to this question. She's like, what killed Day? And Violet answers, and she's like, don't ask questions that you know I'm gonna have to lie to answer you. Violet doesn't answer that question, but Rhiannon knows that it wasn't a Gryphon or whatever those things are that they always talk about. Rhiannon knows it was something else, and she knows that Violet knows. She's basically caught on. And then lastly, the ending of the whatever chapter I just read, which was 21, Violet is talking to Eric, and I believe I forget, Eric's dad is like a king. His dad doesn't even know that he's in this war college right now. He thinks he's on his like 21-year-old tour thing, just kind of going around the world, traveling, hanging out, partying type of thing. And he starts talking about how his dad thinks that he's on like his 21-year-old tour, going around, hanging out, partying, traveling, but instead he's at this war college. He says, she's catching on, isn't she? And he's talking about Rhiannon, and Violet's like, catching on to what? They haven't hidden it all away as well as they think they have. And then he says, it's easy to figure out if you know what you're looking for. Personally, it was the daggers my guards started carrying that tipped me off. The guards were the hardest to slip too. They won't tell my father they've lost me until they absolutely have to. I'm just hoping it's after threshing. He can't do anything after threshing, blah 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 blah. And Violet goes, oh crap. You know, don't you? And he goes, why else would I be here? So now we know he's gonna side in with stuff. Rhiannon's catching on. Violet's probably not gonna tell her, but I want her to tell her. I think things are picking up. I'm like 30-something% in. I'm reading this book so slowly. Like, I will read 20 pages and then I put it into Goodreads and it goes up like 3%, and I'm like, okay, we still got a lot to work with. And also I'm realizing that this one update was 13 minutes long. This is giving me Akamov vlog flashbacks. I'm gonna be editing this video for a month. Back with another update. For the second years, one of the biggest challenges that it's kind of like the daunting one everyone knows about is interrogation. It's literally physical and mental interrogation. Like, they are trying to get you to expose your secret. I don't know about you, but as soon as I heard that that was going to be a challenge for the second years, towards the beginning of the book, I was like, Baruch is gonna love this. He's gonna try to get Violet and that squad to admit what happened. There's a moment where the squad is all together. There are no leaders in the room, and the leaders have told them that they have to all share a secret. Each of them have to share a secret secret with each other, and they all have to keep each other's secrets throughout the whole interrogation process. I thought this was when Violet was going to tell them everything. She ended up giving them a different secret instead. I guess she's not telling them that yet. They were offered a drink, and I was so glad. This was so smart of Violet. She smelled the drink and she's like, this is what they gave us for us to lose our bond with our dragons. We're not drinking that. And that basically saved them, because then they still had their signets, like their powers, and still had bonds with their dragons, but they had to obviously pretend that they didn't. I thought that was very smart. W's for Violet. That was great. None of them were sharing their secrets. This is the moment when I was like, Violet, the fact that this squad is so connected, you need to go ahead and tell them the truth once y'all get out of interrogation. They are stuck together. If any of them end up betraying each other, my heart is gonna crack. But when Varys brought in Dane, I was like, no. Because Varys was like, it's taking too long for them to break. Dane, I want you to try to read her memory. Try to pull the secret out of her. Very rare moment. Very rare. I was not expecting this. Dane refused. Only because he was like, I'm not going to try to interrogate someone who's like injured, because Violet's shoulder was messed up. And so I was like, the book would have been almost over. I was like, there is no way Dane is gonna turn this down. And then he did. Honestly, I didn't think he had it in him. So instead, Varys comes in, just like throws a punch at her dislocated shoulder. I hate that man. Dane is to Fourth Wing as Varys is to Iron Flame. Anytime he opens his mouth, I'm like, So they end up escaping because they do still have their powers, thank God. And then later on, they learn about why Nolan, the healer, has been so occupied. He brought back Jack Barlow, the guy that Violet killed in Fourth Wing. I was like, wait, pause. I had to actually look him up because I kind of forgot who he was. He's back, and I know he's gunning for her. That was actually insane. And then in Battle Brief, they learned that Samara was attacked and that no riders had died, but that one was severely injured. And Violet knew that the one that was severely injured was Xaden, so she literally just up and left. She's like, all right, y'all, see you later. My dragon calls. My boyfriend that's not my boyfriend is injured. I'ma head out. I was a little bit scared about that. The way she arrives and she's like searching for Xaden, and she walks into the gym and he's like, you're a little slow today. Violet's like, I flew 8 hours because I thought you were about to die. That's not giving death. That dynamic reminds me of when in Akamov, Feyre is in the Weaver and Rhysand is just sitting outside and she's like, if you know, you know. Later on, before they leave to go back to Basgiath, they meet up with those Gryphon riders. Remember the ones from Fourth Wing? That was kind of when Violet started to figure out everything, like a lot of the secrets Xaden was keeping. One of the Gryphon riders, her name is Kat, and they're talking to her, and then we learned that her name is Catriona, and we heard that once earlier, Xaden's ex. Yeah, so Violet met Xaden's ex. I don't know, she's kind of annoying. Yeah, so that was interesting. I'm wondering if she's gonna play a bigger role in the story, maybe. Violet gets back, and then Varish, I literally want to call him Varnish. Isn't that something that's gross? She gets back, and he of course issues another search. And she's wearing Xaden's jacket, and he has a venom-killing dagger. And Varish issues a search to search her bag, and then he's like, you can't wear that jacket, you're impersonating someone. Like, be so for real. She's wearing a jacket. She has her name tag on. If you're impersonating someone, why would you have your own name on your name tag? Literally make it make sense. He's like insisting that he has to see the jacket, and Violet is like, he cannot see this dagger. That's like one of the biggest secrets they can't let slip. Professor Kaori, that's how I've been saying his name, he was talking to Violet, I think, beforehand, and so he's with Varish at this point. He somehow stands up for Violet a little bit, but Varish still searches her jacket, and so Violet is like, oh my god. And during this little moment, Rhiannon was like across the hall in her room, and Violet like gave her a look like, oh my god, things are about to go down, like this is horrible. And Rhiannon doesn't even know any of the secrets, but she knew Violet's facial expression. After all of this happens, Violet looks in the little pocket in Xaden's jacket after she gets it back. The dagger's gone. And this is why we love Rhiannon, and this is why she needs to know everything. She used her signet, which is something to do with metals, or like she can just get things to like come to her. She got the dagger. She got it before Varish found it. Oh my goodness, the way she just saved everyone. Like, she saved so many people she doesn't even know it. And she goes, Violet, what is this? And why did you need it? And all Violet said was, the dagger, it's for killing Venin. That's the point where I'm at right now. Violet ends up telling Rhiannon, Redoc, and Sawyer. So all three of them now know everything. And I am so happy that they do, because especially Rhiannon, she is locked in. Like, she is gonna be, she's gonna be so good. Such a good asset. As long as she doesn't die, I'm chilling. So it's kind of nice to know that they know now, but I'm also a little bit scared. Things are definitely picking up, getting more exciting. I've been reading this so slowly. I don't know what it is. It takes a long time to make progress on Goodreads too. Like, I'll read 10 pages, it goes up 2%. I'm like, oh, all right. It's just like not motivating when it comes to numbers, but I'm still liking the book. There's a lot of potential for this to end up amazingly. That's the update. It's time for a major update, guys. I finished part 1. I'm pretty sure there's just part 1 and part 2. Still not even 50% of the way through. Oh my goodness, the amount of stuff that happened. It is actually insane, so let's talk about it. We left off right after Rhiannon literally saved Feyre and saved the course of this book, actually, by retrieving the dagger when Varish was doing his search that he's obsessed with doing. And so right then is when Violet tells Redoc, I don't know how to pronounce his name, Redoc, Sawyer, and Rhiannon the truth about everything. The only thing she leaves out is how and where she woke up, because that's not her story to tell. So after that, they all, of course, Rhiannon jumps into problem solving mode, and she's like, we got to figure out how to retrieve these journals so that Violet can then get the information she needs to figure out that ward situation. So they come up with a plan to go to Jacina, the scribe girl, and retrieve the journals from the original 6, because that is where the information will be about the wards. And it's going to be extra helpful because there's a bunch of them. There's 4 of them now who can help read through this information so they can get through it a lot faster. Randomly, I just put this random note in here, but the first years were like bonding with their dragons, and Sloane bonds with a red dagger tail, which is the same as her brother. Liam also bonded with a red dagger tail. Then Violet is going to, she's like switching what's it called, shifts with Aya, who is another girl, like another second year, I think. And right when Violet like gets up to the top of this tower, because it's like at the top of a building, I think, there are 4 assassins that come and attack both her and Aya. Aya dies. She is one of the ones that like knew about everything. I think she was in the battle. And then Violet is literally left like hanging off the side of the building, and she is about to die. Taryn is on his way, but he's not gonna make it in time. She's slipping off. Right before she slips off, she's saved by Jack Barlow. What? The way my jaw dropped open, I was like, Jackie, what are you doing? Violet literally killed him, and he saved her, and he ended up saying like, ever since I came back, I'm trying to be a better person. And at first he said that at the beginning when everybody first realized he was back, and of course Violet's like, he's saying that, but like I doubt that's true. But he really apparently is. Boy literally saved Violet's life, and I was like, holy crap. I was genuinely surprised. He was one of the last people that I would have expected to be saving her. To retrieve these specific journals, the person who can actually touch the journal and retrieve it out of the area that is in the scribes quadrant, the archives, that's what it's called. It has to be someone in King Tori's bloodline to be able to access the vault. And so that's when everyone started talking. They're like, oh no, our plan's not gonna work. And Violet was like, then it's a good thing we have access to a prince who hates his father. So they end up teaming up with Eric. He agrees to do it, although he and Xaden are like little children. They hate each other because Xaden killed Eric's brother. Yeah, so they have this beef, but they're still teaming up because Eric hates his father more than he hates Xaden. They end up getting the journals, but holy crap, the way my heart was racing. I was like, guys, if you don't get out of there before that gate shuts, I'm gonna return my book and I won't be finishing it. Oh my god. So they get the journals. Violet decides to keep one, and Xaden is taking the other one with him back to wherever it is that he is stationed. So as soon as Xaden leaves, Nolan, who is the healer or the mender, I don't know the difference, but you know, the main healing guy, he comes to Violet and he's like talking to her in a loving way because he and her have always had like a cute, kind of like a nice bond, a loyalty type of thing, and he offers her favorite lemonade. He literally betrayed her. Everything starts going blurry after Violet drinks this. She loses her connection to Terran, and then she's knocked out. And when she wakes up, guess whose ugly face she sees? Varish. And he goes, "Why, Cadet Sorengale, what have you gotten yourself into?" Nolan betrayed Violet, and that is just, honestly, I'm really disappointed in him. This time, not only is she caught, but she has that journal, guys. Like, do we understand how big of a deal this is? This is huge. So, Varish is interrogating Violet, obviously, and he brings in a truth teller so that she has to tell the truth. I was so proud of her right there. This is like such a takeaway, the way Violet was like, my body is probably about to get demolished. I'm gonna have wounds that hurt so bad, but there is nothing stronger than my mind, and I control my mind. I have full control of my mind and nobody can take that from me. I love that. Like, that is a life lesson right there that I'm gonna keep with me. No matter how broken down I may get physically, or no matter who's coming against me or what situation I'm in, I have my mind and nobody can take that from me unless I give them the power to, and still I can take that power back. I just absolutely love that message. Violet chooses to share selective truths, and Varish wasn't having it, so of course he turns to literally violence. I hate that man with a passion. One of the best parts of this book is Liam showing up in her subconscious. When Violet is at her worst, like, she feels like death. She's laying down, she's trying to rest, and she opens her eyes and Liam was there. I just like that actually has me tearing up because I miss him so. Why am I crying? Anyone watching this video has read Fourth Wing and Iron Flame, and everyone knows the connection with Liam. He was such a good person and he didn't deserve what he had, and he literally died for Violet. Just like the way he was there for her throughout this whole part. Pause, stop. Lyrics, stop crying. This is so embarrassing for me. I'm sorry, but when I was reading the book, I started crying. He helped her through such a hard situation. I feel like she would have died if her mind didn't stay locked in, and Liam was there to help her do just that. It was such a good moment. I miss him so much. Varish is of course like taunting Violet. He's trying to get her to share secrets, and he's like, "You're not the prize, Sorengale, you're a tool." So he's trying to use Violet to get Xaden to come in, and then he wants to catch Xaden, interrogate him, because he knows if Xaden sees Violet hurt, he will actually share or open up and stuff like that. And then Violet whips out this line. She goes, "You're hunting Xaden, but Terran is hunting Solus. You're the weaker on both counts. I might die in this chamber, but I promise you will." Of course, after Violet says that, Varish goes off on her, beats her body. It is so bad. Like, he literally hurts her in the worst way possible. When Violet's laying down and she sees Liam again, she says, "Don't leave me." Oh. "Don't leave me," I whisper to Liam. "I won't. I swear." That's what he says back to her. Ugh, why did he have to die? When you read the book and you read that moment, you understand section of the book, and that bond with Liam literally grabbed my heart and ripped it apart, and it didn't put it back together. It never got put back together. Oh my god, oh my god. And then after this, since once again Violet is staying tough, keeping her mind strong, not breaking, Varish brings in Dane. And this man, the way he's talking to Dane, he's like, "She's literally a traitor. They're stealing weapons, blah, blah, blah. You have to see what's going on. You have to tell me everything." He's telling Dane to access her memories, and this time Dane doesn't back down. He is pissed off, and he actually wants to do it. What Violet's strategy is here, she doesn't have her mental shield right now. She doesn't have the connection with Terran, and all that was taken away when she drank that lemonade that Nolan provided. So her goal is to try to really feed Dane specific memories, and the one she chose was the battle and the part where Liam died. That's what she was trying to show him. Either way, Dane ends up getting access to all her memories, and then he just spits it out to Varish. The anger that flooded into my soul, the way I wanted to slaughter Dane right then. He told Varish everything. Like, he told him about the weapons. He didn't tell him every single detail, but he told them they had weapons that they were smuggling to the other place. When I tell you we do a full 180, nobody was expecting this. W number 2 for Dane. First off, that one time when he chose to not access Violet's memories because she was injured in that area, this is W number 2 for him. He stabs Varish and frees Violet. What? The way I had to stop for 5 minutes just to make sure it said Dane, I was like, I thought it was Xaden. Because Xaden arrives close to the same time that this happens, which is so cute because Violet thought even Xaden wouldn't risk the mission and everything going on to save her, but he just proved that he would because he did arrive and he didn't know what was going on in there specifically. Dane stabs Varish, releases Violet, and then things go crazy. Dane, I think, is about to kill Varish. Xaden literally like cuts him up, ties him up, and pulls him, brings him to Violet, and gives her the permission to kill him. Sorry. Xaden Ryerson. Ah! So yeah, Violet kills Varish. Thank God, because that man was so annoying. He is one of those book characters that like really like it got my heart racing and made me want him to die. Then as they're escaping, another thing that I was not expecting to happen, they run into General Sorrengail, and it's Xaden with Violet, and they run into her and they're like, wait, pause, what is she doing here right now? Because at this point things are going crazy. For Xaden to enter, they were like fighting a bunch of the guards. Like all the guards in that area have been knocked out, so everything is going crazy. Probably alarms are being set off and stuff. And so General Sorrengail is there, and they have to go quickly because the leadership people are about to arrive. They have to get out before leadership arrives. And so they see General Sorrengail, and Violet's like, just leave me alone, this is my mom. It's fine, Xaden. And we learn some things. We definitely learn some things. First off, her mom gives Violet an antidote to help her with all of the stuff that Varnish, may he forever rest in hell, did to Violet. And basically her mom admits that she knows what's going on both sides, and Violet's like, why are you sided with the wrong side, Mom? And the mom answers and she's like, when you have children, Violet, and you have to choose what's best for their safety, come back to me with that question. So it's like she knows what she's doing isn't exactly right, but I do understand how it was better for her children and her family and everything to keep secrets and stuff. She also tells her that Xaden's life and the ones he holds dearest have always been tied to Violet, and by that she means General Sorrengail made a pact, or I don't know. She basically told Xaden that if Violet survives Parapet on her own, he has to make sure no one killed her outside of challenges, so that's why he was so protective of her. And I think in exchange for that, it allowed something to do with the rebellion people. I'm not too clear on the transaction between Xaden and her, but there was one. And also Violet was like, are those your knife marks on Xaden's back? And her mom said yes. I know Violet hated that. That one really had to hurt her because she's seen those marks on Xaden for so long and she just couldn't. And that also means that what Dane told her during that battle at the beginning was true. Her mom lets her go. It's kind of bittersweet. Obviously, I wouldn't say her mom's like a good person, really. I wouldn't say she's bad though, but she gave them the choice. Like, she gave Xaden and Dane and all of them the choice which side to go on. She's more of a survivor type beat, if you know what I mean. Like, survive whether I'm doing the right or wrong thing. Yeah, but it's still bittersweet because it is her mom, and Violet's now in the point where some of her mom's people could end up killing her. Yeah, there's a lot going on. So then they're trying to escape before leadership arrives, but Violet says, we have to give them all a choice, Xaden, or we're no better than leadership. So they choose to kind of rally everyone together, and there's this little quote part because Dane ends up deciding that he actually wants to side with Violet, Xaden, all of them. And I was like, okay, wow, all right then, call me speechless, I guess. So he ends up siding with them. Xaden goes, if he wants our trust, he'll earn it. And Dane says, guess my last official act as wing leader will be to call a formation. So he calls a formation of everyone in there to come join up, and they end up telling them everything. They're basically giving everyone there the choice and the chance to choose between siding with them or staying with Badskith, like the war call, all of that. A lot of them actually end up doing the right thing. Sloane and them end up coming as well. Rhiannon, obviously Rhiannon would join them, but all of Violet's friends, her whole squad, they end up joining, and then they all end up flying back to Ryerson House, and Brennan is there. Imagine Violet's brother's there. He's like, what in the... As of what he knows, none of them even know what has been going on. Brennan sees Xaden and Violet arrive, and he goes, what have you two done? Xaden says, ask your sister. And Violet goes, I mean, you did say that you needed riders. And then all of the dragons and the riders start coming in, and that is the end of part 1 of Iron Flame. This video is giving my Akamov vlog. It's kind of long, but I'm loving it. This whole world is so crazy. I'm so excited for the rest. This book, I feel like I read it slower too because it stresses me out, and I'm so scared that specific people are gonna get hurt, so I start slowing down the reading process, and I'm like, okay, maybe if we don't read, nothing bad is gonna happen. But yeah, it's taking a while to read and a while to film and edit this video, but I'm enjoying the whole process, and that's what matters. I don't have to rush my reading. I'm gonna enjoy the process and then share it with you guys, and we could talk about whatever we want. But yeah, that's part 1, and I'm pretty sure there's only part 2. Part 2 is gonna be insane. Something crazy is gonna go on. Thank God Barish is dead. I am so confused by Dane, but I feel like he's on the up and up. Okay, see you in my next update. We have a lot of updates now. So yeah, this is when everyone has left. They've all gone to Ryerson House, all the people that want to join. So it starts off with Xaden and Violet waking up together, and everyone's all over the place. They're trying to figure out structures. Things are going crazy. Everyone's like, what are we doing? Then Andarna finally wakes up. I miss that girl so much, but she finally wakes up. But sadly, we realize that her wing isn't fully normal, and part of that is because she had to wake up and use powers during battle at Resin, you know, that whole thing. And she also kept getting woken up in the middle of her resting period, so that's part of the thing. It's gonna be extra hard for her to learn how to fly, and that she'll never be able to carry a rider, which is so sad because that's like dragons love getting to do that. And then there was a lot of political talk. They're trying to figure out what's going on, come up with a plan, and then they end up getting an alert that there are riders coming in, and I think they thought people were coming to attack them, but it was really Mira and her group of people, and they started coming over. At first Violet was like, oh my god, am I gonna have to like defend myself against my sister? Because Mira doesn't know about all of this. This is where Brennan is, and she doesn't even know that her brother's alive. So she comes over. What ends up happening is she learned about the truth and everything that was going on, so they were actually coming over to join them. And so she sees Brennan for the first time, and she's literally like, and then just glocks him in the face. You disappeared for 6 years. You had me thinking you were dead. You had me thinking you were gone. You had me thinking you were no more. And you have the audacity to question why I punched you in the face. Be so for real right now. It was so cute getting to see all 3 of them together again. They're on the same side. They now know the same information, and I was so happy that they're all finally together. Then Violet thinks she finally figured out how to raise the wards, which they really, really need to be protected. And she thought she needed the 6 most powerful riders. So they end up taking the 6 most powerful riders. It's supposed to be the blood of the 6 most powerful riders. She convinces the riders to come with her to the spot where they're supposed to use their blood to activate the wards or something. That ends up not working, and Violet's like, okay, that's so awkward and embarrassing for me. And so she decides she wants to go to Takaris, and it's something about wanting to get the luminary, I believe, which is something that helps with wards. I'm honestly so confused with a lot of the stuff that takes place, but the story's still exciting. So she wants to go over there. However, like the king of that area, he's a big collector, and since Violet's very special, I guess, the danger here was that he would want to collect her. So she starts planning on a way to go over there. Before that, she is training with Felix, and he's trying to watch her control her power. He's like, girl, you never even learned how to control your power. You just started doing them big lightning strikes. You never even learned how to harness it. That is not safe. And Violet was like, yeah, I mean, you low-key right. I do be striking lightning wherever, and I don't really know how to control it. Honey, if your power is that extreme, we need some control, because that is terrifying. That is scary, even to your teammates, even to your besties. If I was in a fight with you, I'd be like, watch out, Wyvern. My bestie can strike lightning. She might kill you accidentally. So basically, Felix realizes Violet's like power is really overpowering, and he offers to help her, but he's like, I'm only gonna help
help you if you actually want to learn how to do this. And Violet was like, you know what? Yes, actually, I would love that. So he gives her this orb thing, and it's supposed to help her control her powers. And he also tells her that she can, like, use her fingers, use her hands. And Violet was always like, oh, I thought I had to use the clouds and stuff. Why? Yeah, so he gives her an orb, and so she's supposed to practice, like, using it with her powers and everything. So then Brennan, Mira, and Violet end up going to Takara's, which is how Violet wants to get the Luminary, and she didn't tell Xaden this. So she gets there, and she's about to be let in through these Gryphons and these guards, and they tell them that you have to tell them a truth to be able to get in, because they can tell if you're telling the truth or not. And Violet tells them, like, I'm here to offer my powers in exchange for the Luminary. And then the Gryphons step aside, and Xaden is back there, and he's like, you're not where I left you, Violet. I was like, wait, pause. First off, Xaden, why are you? That was the last thing I was expecting. And so throughout this little visit, while they're in Takara's, Xaden seems so comfortable and familiar there. And then Violet goes, oh, maybe it's cause the Viscount's niece is Catriona. Yeah, Xaden's ex. Apparently, Xaden has spent a good bit of time here. Matter of fact, he has his own room, his own dwelling place. That's interesting. Then we get to the point where Violet has to, like, show off her powers, because the king, obviously, in exchange for the Luminary, he needs the powers. And right when she's about to do that, a Venin appears. What is that doing here? So there's this little insane battle that takes place, and Mira shields the siblings, her, Brennan, and Violet. Mira uses her power to shield all of them, and then Violet kills the Venin. In the end, that whole stuff goes down. Xaden is pissed. So they come to this conclusion, and they basically agree that all of the people from Basgiath that ended up coming to Ryerson House because they want to fight for what's right, basically, and help other people, they agree to take in Gryphon riders that will basically join them in exchange for the Luminary. Kat, she's a Gryphon rider, and now she's on the same team as Violet. The tension is tensioning. So then the instructors, the heads, the ones that came over from Basgiath and wanted to join this squad, they are forcing the Gryphon riders and the Dragon riders to go on this kind of dangerous actual hike thing to help them bond and stuff, which it's not as effective as they want it to be. One of the nicer Gryphon riders, her name is Marin. She's behind Violet, and then Sloane is also in this group, and they're doing this whole hike thing. Violet's obviously pissed. I think Catriona is in front of her, and Violet realizes how much Sloane also hates Catriona. Violet says, at least I'm not the only one you hate. And Sloane says, I don't hate you. It's hard to hate you when Liam didn't. And that's because Sloane has finally, like, caught up with the letters, and she's gotten up to more, like, recent things in Liam's life. And so she's understanding how close Liam and Violet ended up being. So it's kind of cool getting to see that. I knew that would end up happening, but I'm just so glad that some of the tension between Sloane and Violet is, like, going away now. Then we have this moment in the hike. There's this area they have to jump over, like, jump over this rope thing so that they don't trigger some arrows that will shoot out. And Luella is one of the smaller Gryphon riders, and she's, like, not able to make the jump. So they end up doing this technique thing, and I'm actually very confused what happens, but they end up, like, using a sword or something and stabbing it in the side of the wall, and then, like, getting across. Basically, Violet demonstrates. She gets across. Then Luella goes for it. She kind of misses, and Violet has to catch her because she, like, falls over the side or something, and it ends up triggering the arrows. So Violet catches both her and Vizia, who I think is a dragon rider, I believe, and they both, like, fall over the side, and Violet catches them. But then, like, her dislocated shoulder, it is giving out. This girl is like, oh my god. And then the arrows get triggered, and they hit Rydok, Sawyer, Garrick, Bodhi, Imogen, Rhiannon. If any of them die, I'm not reading the series. No, I still will, but, like, they are family at this point, and they can't, no. Also Sloane. So all of that takes place, and Luella ends up falling and dying, which is one of the Gryphon riders. It wasn't Violet's fault. Like, she truly tried. I think it might have been her dislocated shoulder one. That was pretty sad. And of course, Kat is gonna hold it against her and be like, you did that on purpose, blah, 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 blah. Like, I understand, but also at the same time, she will take anything she possibly can and hold it against Violet. While all of that is happening, Brennan is trying to mend Rydok, but then they realize that Wyvern are in the area, and it's so foggy that the dragons can't even see them. And if the dragons can't see them, how are the dragon riders even gonna see them? kind of scary. So Violet's out here trying to kill the Wyvern, or was it Venom? I don't remember. I don't know the difference. So Violet's out here trying to kind of distract them was the goal. Her and Taryn were trying to distract them while Brennan mended Rhydock, and it ends up working out. Violet and Taryn end up killing the 4 riderless Wyvern. Remember, riderless, so they were just out there vibing, and everyone in her like squad besides Luella end up making it through. However, they realize that Venom share a collective conscious with the Wyvern they create. Oh, okay, so Venom are, oh, okay, they create the, I see. So Venom share a consciousness with the Wyvern they create, so even though those Wyvern died, the Venom that created them still kind of know where they were, what area they were, who was killing them, what magic was being used, so they still know what went on, and that means they're still gonna come after the whole squad and try to drain them of their power and use it and kill them. That is so exciting. Later, they're back at their little training area, and Professor Teresa is teaching everyone how to place magic into something by tempering a rune. I was a little confused by this. It almost seems like you are putting magic into an object, a specific type of magic. Yeah, I was a little confused by that, but he did say this one thing, and I feel like it's going to be very important if there is an ending battle in this book. And he says, this might be a girl, I'm not sure. It says, every shape has meaning. The points where we tie the power change that meaning. So they can use their powers to kind of like string it out and create like a shape, I think, and then put power into that. I'm really lost, but it's something along the lines of that. They're all trying to figure this out, and the teacher's like, y'all need to go ahead and learn this. It used to be like not taught, and it was like banned from teaching or something, but they're teaching it again because now they can actually do the right thing. So later on, Violet is in Xaden's room, and he tells like this cute little story about how they used that same technique to protect the rebels, like how the parents put their magic or something like that into little stones that the rebels all held, and it protected them from something. I don't know. I just vibe throughout the book. I catch the idea as I can, and it somehow still is enough. Then the leaders, once again, are trying to help out this little Gryphon Rider, Dragon Rider situation because they're on the same team, but they very much don't really like each other. So I think they're letting the Gryphon Riders choose a Dragon Rider that they can fight, but the terms are that you can't use your powers and you fight until the other is unconscious or taps out. And of course, Cat chooses Violet. So yeah, Violet ends up fighting Cat, and Cat has this power, like she has this mind power thing she can do, and what it basically is she can heighten the emotions that you have to make you think specific thoughts. And so she starts using that while she's fighting Violet, and she is using phrases about Xaden like that make Violet super jealous, as they should, although it all stems from Violet's emotions already, like insecurity or inferiority or stuff like that. So Cat is doing that, and Violet doesn't really realize it. I think what Kat's trying to do is get Violet to get so mad that she releases her power, because it's harder for her to control her powers. And so Violet actually ends up catching on to what Kat is doing, and she's like, stop using your powers, and she yells so that everyone figures out that Kat is actually cheating. She's using her powers. Violet literally got to the point where she could kill Kat, and Kat wouldn't tap out, and there was this like connection between Xaden and Violet, and she was like, I want to kill her so bad, and Xaden was like, do it. And I'm not sure. I think that might have been part of like Kat's doing, making Violet think that Xaden was saying that. I don't know. But it was just like a very interesting scene. After that scene takes place, the chapter after that, Xaden and Violet. Oh! Catriona and Xaden used to be betrothed. It was more like a beneficial type of thing for kingdoms and important people. But Violet says she wants you for your name, and Xaden says, I know, and you love me in spite of it. That's one of the many reasons I will always choose you. And then they end up, you know, going at it, and he literally, oh my god, they're doing it in this chair, right? Like this big chair. And later on in the middle, Xaden says, look at how beautiful you are, Violet. Coming for me on Tyrandor's throne. He made her on the throne. What? Ah! The part where he has literally made her multiple times, and Violet can see how uncomfortable he is. Like, she's like, oh my goodness, this guy is, and he even, like, he lets her into his mind. Like, while they're doing it, he lets her into his mind, and she can see from, like, basically his point of view, but in words. And he's like, I want her so bad. I would do this. I want her to do this to me. And then Violet sees him, and he's like backing away, and she's like, why are you denying yourself pleasure? Like, I want to help you, like, you just helped me. And then he says this, oh my goodness, because I need you to see I'm more than capable of worshiping your body without reciprocation. You're not a convenient placeholder for me to. And you don't understand how much that means, because while they were doing that battle, Kat literally told Violet, she's like, you are just a placeholder that Xaden gets to. And then he says that to her as he Xaden Ryerson, this chapter belongs to him. My heart belongs to him. This man leaves me speechless. It's the fact that he, like, begged her to not please him so that he could prove that he... So after all of this, apparently we get to this part where Dane is gonna help Violet, I think, re-go through Warwick's journal, because the first time she went through it, she thought the way to get the wards up was with the original 6, going to that area, doing the blood thing. But apparently that was wrong, so Dane is helping her retranslate it, I believe, and since he's really good at languages. And they have this moment, this is W number 3 for Dane. He's very slow, not redeeming himself. Never gonna be fully redeemed for Liam. That's just not, yeah. But he's definitely proving to be a little better than I thought he could be. And he gets to this point where he's talking about Xaden, and he goes, are you really truly in love with him? And Violet says, yes, and that's never going to change. And then he says, then I'll trust him as much as you do. And that just really, I guess it really was a good moment. It really was, because Dane saying he trusts Xaden is extreme, given their history, given his history with Violet. He's really proving himself. I'm proud of Dane. I don't want to give him too many praises, but he's definitely doing a lot better. And the fact that he chose the right choice, even though literally nobody that he's with likes him. And he still chose the right thing. He could have stayed in Basgiath where most people liked him, but he didn't because he knew it was the right thing. And I'm proud of him for that. That was a hard choice. Good job, Dane. Wow. Another moment where Violet gets better at controlling her powers. She's learning how to control it using the Orby thingy. And then there's another attack somewhere. I don't really remember where. The locations, I don't even know how to name these locations. The words in this book are insane. That is something I don't really enjoy. Why is some of the language in here not English? Oh yeah, because it isn't. There's another attack. They realize the enemy is coming quicker and quicker. Not a good thing, because they are not prepared at all. They're outnumbered, they're not prepared. They have Gryphon riders trying to work with dragon riders. They both hate each other. They're not prepared for this. There's a moment where Violet is translating the journal again. Then she realizes that her and Dane had accidentally mistaken symbol for breath as blood. She starts substituting it in, and she realizes the 6 at the beginning, how they took the 6 best riders in their blood. It doesn't refer to riders, it refers to dragons. So now she knows, she's pretty sure that that is what's going to activate the wards. And so she shares her plan with the squad. I think Rhiannon's family and their house, they end up getting all the Gryphon riders and the dragon riders in their little squad, and they're all in Rhiannon's house trying to, like, vibe out a little bit. And that's where Violet ends up sharing her plan. But the downfall to her plan is that the Gryphon rider's ability to wield would be taken away. So she ends up sharing that plan, and of course they're kind of like, bro, what? Why would we want to do that? But also they're realizing it's the only way to get the wards up. Everybody's common interest is they want those wards to go up. And then Violet says that they would still have Mayor's Sight. Literally, don't ask me what that is, but it has something to do with power. it's a type of power that they can, I think they could put it into something and all the Gryphon riders would still have one of those, which I don't know, it helps out. So I guess they end up agreeing to it. Later on, they are on this practice mission to retrieve runes, I think. Remember how they learned how to like put magic into one thing? I think that's what they're trying to track, and they're with their dragons trying to track Violet Squad. This is like a practice thing. Violet Squad includes her, Vizia, Kat, and Sloane. So they're on this practice mission, and they end up finding where one of the runes or whatever they're looking for is, and it's in a cave. So they end up going into it. Also, Andarna is with them on this mission. Guess who comes out? Solus, Varish's dragon, bro. What? Pause. What? No, stop. So Solus ends up entering the chat, and he's going a little crazy. And this was kind of an interesting moment because this is where we have Kat and Violet literally working together. Sloane is there as well, and they are fighting off this dragon using their powers, using their brains. And sadly, Vizia ends up dying. That wasn't really what we wanted to happen. She ends up dying because I think she gets hit out of the way by Solus and ends up slamming into the cave, and it says Violet heard a crack and she knew she was dead. But they get to this extreme point. Violet ends up using like her controlling powers, which is really cool. I know she felt good like using that in action, and it was successful. I feel like a lot of important things took place in this little battle. Violet ends up using her powers in a controlled method, which is what she's really been working on. And Darna kills Solus, which I'm not sure the significance of one dragon killing another dragon. Maybe it's fine, I don't know. But for Andarna to do that, I was like, slay girl, so proud of you, Andarna, you go. And lastly, Sloane's signet is manifested, and she's a siphon, so she finally like knows what her power is. So all of those little things take place in that little battle, which is really important because it's like all of those things that they gained and they practiced are gonna end up being really useful and helpful whenever all this Wyvern Venom war thing battles end up happening. So yeah, that's the little update that I'm at right now. I have not too much left of the book. I have a small amount left. This definitely feels like the second book in a 5-6 book series because there's a lot of world building, a lot of politics. It's still good, but it's definitely giving off second book vibes, as in it's setting stuff up for the next one. I feel like the third one in this series is going to be pretty crazy and pretty insane. This one might still end on a very thrilling note. I'm not sure. We'll see. But I'm definitely enjoying it a lot more than the first like half. Almost had to push through part of that, but it's looking up and I'm really excited. I will keep you guys updated. The lighting is basically gone, but the sunset was a cute little moment. All right, guys. I think this is my last update before I finish Iron Flame. I don't know. This book has felt really long. I've heard a lot of other people say that. Let's talk about these updates because a battle is about to take place. I'm scared because as of now, we're not gonna win. Let's backtrack a little bit. Let's go look at some updates, okay? It's the way I have a different phone case in every single clip. Like, I have a phone case obsession, if you couldn't tell. I forgot where we left off. The first update I have is Xaden asks Violet why she hasn't asked him about the deal he made with her mom, the rebels, and keeping them safe, but he had to also protect Violet and all that stuff. You knew that I knew about that, and so they have this whole heated argument because it's another thing that he knew. Like, he knew that Violet had that information and wasn't asking the question, but he never said anything to her because he wanted her to ask. They're in this fight and Xaden says, ask me something. Fight back like you would have done last year before I broke your trust. Stop being so scared of the answers you're waiting for me to give them to you. Demand the truth. I need you to love me, not just what you decide to see. Xaden just like, he wants her to ask these questions, but then Violet doesn't want to have to ask. She wants him to just tell her. I understand how Xaden doesn't want to tell her some of the information he gets, but at the same time, Violet just wants to be included. She doesn't care how dangerous this information is. She wants to be told and she wants to be included. She wants to be 100% his. It's like I understand both sides, especially in this fantasy type of world. If this was a real life situation, I would be fully sided with Violet, but I understand because of this whole situation. Then on page 513, we have like this love confession almost, the way they're talking about how they love each other despite these fights that they keep having about honesty. This is what Xaden says. Love, you're the smartest person I know. If you actually wanted the answers, you'd ask the right questions. His voice softens as his thumb sweeps along my jawline. You knew about the deal. Maybe the question you need to be asking is why you didn't confront me about it. And Violet goes, because I love you. You guys have read the story, but you know how much this means. It's just such an important and hard topic. Like, she doesn't want to ask these questions because she loves him, but he wants her to ask questions, but she doesn't know which questions to ask. Sometimes she does know, but she doesn't want to ask because she doesn't want to hear him say the truth that she already knows. It's a tricky situation, and they're trying to navigate it, but it is very difficult. And then at the bottom of that page, Violet goes, let's put your theory to the test. You want me to demand the truth? To ask you something real? Please do, he challenges. And Violet goes, what's your second signet? And Xaden goes silent. Yeah. So yeah, Xaden has a second signet because of, there's something about bonding with a dragon that I think has bonded with someone in your family line. Something about that helps you get a second signet, and Xaden has hidden his from everyone. And Violet figured out that he had another one because of, she figured something out with the dragons, and she was like, I think it was when she was reading Warwick's journal or something. I don't know, but she was like, oh buddy. So yeah, that one really caught Xaden off guard. After that question, the reason Xaden doesn't answer is because Brennan bursts in and he's like, there's a horde of wyvern that have been spotted flying from Pavis towards the cliffs. And so they had to like quickly get those wards up. This time they were going to try the method that Dane and Violet had just discovered, using dragons instead of riders. They work and they actually go up, so now they have protection in this area. As they're waiting for the horde of wyvern to arrive, Violet's so determined to figure out Xaden's second signet, they're just waiting. She starts like asking him all these questions about signets and trying to eliminate the ones that he isn't, because she's gonna figure out. She's like, if he's gonna hide the truth again and not tell me, I'll figure it out on my own. They get to the point and Xaden says, and no one knows, because if they did, I'd be dead. And as soon as he said that, you know where I went? I went back to Fourth Wing. Remember when that one guy manifested his signet, like in the middle of some big meeting that all of the writers and the squad, like all the members were having, and he manifested it and they killed him on the spot? That's what Xaden is. That's his second signet. You're kidding. You're actually kidding. The amount of stress on Xaden, back when all of the secrets are being kept, he has so many secrets. He knows so many things. A hidden signet, like a whole hidden power that he has to hide or else he dies. This kid he is amazing. So basically he's an intensic. He can read people's intentions, and he said it comes across as pictures. So he could see people's intentions. It's almost like a feeling, like he can tell what people's intentions are behind things, which is insane. My jaw was like, what? Okay, and then this next part hurts. This next part hurts because early on in the book, on page 520, Violet says, sometimes I feel like I don't know you. How am I supposed to really love you if I don't know you? And Xaden says, how long do you think it takes for someone to fall out of love? A day? A month? I'm asking because I don't have any experience with it. So let's keep that in mind. Then we get to the part where we figure out about Xaden's signet. And on page 523, oh my god, Xaden says, less than a minute. That's how long it took you to fall out of love with me. And Violet goes, don't read my whatever, because she's talking about her intentions. And he goes, I didn't. The saddest smile I've ever seen tugs at Xaden's mouth. First, because your shields are up, and secondly, because I didn't have to. It's all over your face. He could just see that at that moment, the love was gone, and I know that hurt because he has to keep these secrets, and he doesn't have to, but that secret it is the death of him. He like loves her so much, he wants to give her everything, but he can't all the time. He goes through so much and he sacrifices so much, and people don't see it until it's almost too late. And then at the end it says, say something, he begs, fear streaking through his eyes. And Violet says, my love isn't fickle, so you'd better live, because I'm ready to ask you all the questions. And that gave me a little smile. I'm so glad she's still giving him a chance, and she still sees that he's an amazing person, because he really is. And it's so difficult. Their whole situation is difficult. So after that, the whole horde of wyvern arrive, but it's like a really easy attack. It's just not really that difficult, and the wards actually worked, so it made it easier for them. But then they get back to safety, they get back to their little area, and the leaders and people that are back there have some bad news, and they say that Melgren from Basgiath has asked to meet with them tomorrow. No, he said no more than 2 marked ones, and Violet and Mira. Their mom will be there, and if a fight breaks out, it's basically the end. Like, they're gonna beat them. Melgren, they're in their home turf, and he's asked them to come. Like, obviously they're gonna beat them if Violet and them go. So they're stressing over that, kind of trying to talk out a plan. And then more bad news. Imogen shows up, and she shows that she can still wield, which means that something is wrong with Violet's wards that she just put up, because that's like not supposed to be able to happen. If the wards are up, you can't wield within the wards, I believe. So that's why people that have that power will like fight outside of the area, I think. I don't know. I be learning as I'm reading, trying to learn and pick up on things. I think they end up going to this meeting and bringing more people than expected, but they had their dragons like hiding out back. So they're waiting for this meeting to happen, and Violet asks Xaden if he still tries to read her intentions, and he says he stopped the moment she became more to him than just the general's daughter. The moment he realized the harm that Dane had done to her, and it says that he knew he was no better than him. No better than Dane if he chose to keep reading Violet's intentions. So that's when he stopped. And you know it's like true if Xaden says it. You know he's not lying about that. He's being truthful. And Violet has that little realization that she somehow managed to make some kind of peace with Dane and not Xaden, when what Xaden did was actually far less worse than what Dane did. But I guess it just hurts more because Xaden is Xaden and they have that relationship together, even though her and Dane had a pretty close relationship. It was just kind of sad how Violet was like, wow, I found a way to forgive Dane and I can't even do it with Xaden. At the meeting, Melgren and General Sorrengail are basically asking them to join them and fight for them, and General Sorrengail arrives and she has this look on her face, and that's when Violet realizes, she just saw her son that she thought was dead for the past 6 years. So that was interesting. This says read page 537. She sees her son for the first time, and then imagine this is what you hear your son say to you, because whoever was in charge of speaking on Violet and that whole squad's behalf was like, yeah, we're not gonna join you guys. Why would we fight for you? You literally only ask for help when it's just for you. You never help others. You don't care about people outside of Navarre. That's our whole theme. We're trying to help all the people in these lands, not just one area and then hurt others. And so Brennan says, when all 3 of your children stand against you, perhaps the time has come for self-reflection. And then he says, I mean this with every fiber of my body. We deny your offer of peace and happily accept war, since it sounds like you won't survive another 2 weeks to fight it. And then Xaden chimes in and he says, if I were you, I'd try calling on the allies who helped to win the Great War in the first place. Oh wait, you cut off contact with them centuries ago. I suppose this really is farewell. I love when Xaden pops off with like the sassy little comments. He has the best comebacks. I love when Xaden brings out that sassy side. I'm like, you ate with that. You ate and left absolutely no crumbs. Clean that plate. General Sorrengail asks to talk to just her 2 daughters, Violet and Mira. She tells them that their wards will fail and she wants her kids to survive. So she gives them Lyra's journal. Remember how Xaden took one back to Samara and Violet got caught with Lyra's journal when Nolan betrayed her? They had gone over Lyra's journal, and basically Warwick had lied. That's why the wards that Violet put up don't work. It says Warwick lied. He never wanted anyone else to hold the power of the wards, but Lyra thought the knowledge should be shared. So Lyra's journal is more accurate when it comes to getting wards to work versus Warwick's, but it's in a whole different language. So basically, if Violet doesn't figure out what Warwick lied about, they're screwed. They have no protection right now. So basically, they go back to their place and they're like, yeah. They start talking through some details and they realize that Melgren like lied or something about where his troops were stationed, and basically they're convinced that Samara is what's going to be attacked, but all of the political info and analysis stuff that Violet's squad and all of them were going through show that the attack is actually coming to wherever they just were at I don't know if it's called Navarre, I don't know, Basgiath. It's coming directly there, not going to Samara. So General Sorrengail and all of them end up sending all their troops to Samara. That's not what's going to get attacked. Where all those troops just were before leaving, that's what's getting attacked. And so they start figuring this out and they're like, oh wow, they really are going to die. And they make the decision to actually join with them because remember, they want to help all people. They're being good. Like, they don't just want to pick a squad and help them and damage anyone else. They want to help everyone. So they come to the conclusion, they're like, okay, we're going to go back to those people we literally hate because we know it's the right thing to do, and we're going to join them. So they come to that conclusion, and when they get there, Violet's trying to prove, guys, this is when things start getting crazy. This is when things start really, really getting crazy. Violet's trying to prove to her mom that their wards also don't work because they think they do. And when they get up to the wardstone, guys, guess who's up there? Jack Barlow. Pause. Wait, pause. Stop. Rewind. You're telling me the kid that Violet killed then came back to life, then he saved Violet and was acting like the best person ever. He is on his dragon Bane. He breaks the wardstone and then he kills his dragon. So he starts dying, but get this, Jack is a turned Venin. What was that again? Don't know if I heard that correctly. He's a turned Venin. So something about what went on with Nolan, I don't know if Nolan knew. I don't think he understood what was going on. Some process with wards and stuff. Jack Barlow is a Venin now. I don't even know if he's fully dead. I think they tried to kill him because his dragon died. I don't know. I'm slightly confused, but yeah, so that happened. Now everyone in Navarre, that area where the war college was, that is where they are right now. That's what they're trying to defend. They have no wards, no nothing. Everyone's trying to get rested. Everybody knows what they're supposed to do. Violet did go up to her mom and she was like, I think someone needs to guard the wardstone because you know how Venins suck power out of things? Even though their wards like are broken fully now because that wardstone is broken, there's probably still so much power there because wardstones are built on powerful areas. So those Venin, if they get to that, they're gonna suck up the power. So that's why it needs to be defended. And General Sorrengail was like, no. Sorry about that, but no. I bet that's gonna be a turning point in this little war thing we're about to have. So while everybody's resting and just vibing out, Xaden and Violet are, you know, doing their thing because this could possibly be the last time. Like, they are so outnumbered. They're just standing up for the right thing, but it's almost like 100% chance they're gonna die right now. As they're doing their thing, someone knocks on the door and they end up answering it, and guess who it is? Brennan and the Flyers, the Gryphon Flyer Rider peoples. All of them have arrived. They were gonna stay back. Matter of fact, they didn't want the Gryphon Riders to come, or Flyers, I don't know. Like, they don't really have much power because of the wards, but they end up showing up and Brennan comes too. Actually, this is insane. Brennan, General Sorrengail, Violet, and Mira are all fighting together. I'm not gonna lie, we didn't see that one coming. Brennan says, I left you and Mira here to fight this on your own once before, and I'll never do it again. So Brennan returned. This could be the last time all the siblings are together in this war, in this fight. It's so bittersweet, but the fact that in Fourth Wing we could have never said that. We never could have said that. This is just crazy how much has changed since that book, and it's one book difference. Brennan, once again, he asked his mom, I think he's asking about, he asked if they can guard the wardstone, and this time she grants permission so they can, in fact, guard the wardstone during this war. And that is where I've stopped. So I have this much left. I am actually scared. Oh my god, like somebody's gonna die. No, because remember how they said they were gonna stick together and they were all gonna survive? Yeah, I can't. No. They all have to make it through. Mira and Brennan cannot. Like, no. Xaden, obviously, no. No, see, this is when I get to the point in the book where I don't want to finish it anymore. Here goes nothing. Or a lot of something. This little pre-battle banter between Rhiannon, Rhydock, Sawyer, and Violet, and Xaden better not be the last. Nothing's even happened, but something's going to. Oh, their little hug before they mount on their dragons. All four of them are hugging. Can there be a guaranteed post-battle hug so we know they all survive? Xaden and Violet, I love you. The world does not exist for me beyond you. I couldn't tell you that the last time I flew into a fight, and I should have. I love you too. Do me a favor and don't die. I don't want to live without you. We don't die today. I was looking up fan art for Wyvern and realized that everyone's saying it Wyvern. So, gonna switch that. Sorry about that if that was annoying to you guys this whole entire video. Rhiannon, what are you doing? What are you doing? What is she doing? She just hopped onto Taryn in front of Violet as a Wyvern is approaching. Let's not recreate. You're not Liam. Okay, no, don't do that. Don't do. Okay. Okay, she's okay. My saddle is stuck, I tell Taryn as we climb back to the battle. Good, maybe you'll stay in it. The humor amidst actual war? Love it. Oh my god. Oh my god. No, okay. Sawyer, don't die. I swear you better not. Not the little bonding moment between Kat and Violet. Bro, is she about to die? What? And Darna comes in again. Always coming in clutch at the moment. How does she? I love that kid. I love her so much. Oh my god. She just ripped the head off the Dark Wielder's body. She's like, I breathe fire or whatever. She really can hide. When she said she can hide, she meant she can hide. Okay, they've made it through the first horde of Wyvern. Those are all like riderless ones. And now it's time for the one with a bunch of Dark Wielders. Things are gonna get even crazier somehow. This is not good for my heart rate. I should not have had coffee before this. What is up with this book making me like people I feel like I'm not supposed to? Kat just asked Violet if her mom could tone down the rain because the Gryphons can't fly really well in a lot of rain. And she said, tell your mother we'll fight in the air if she can stop the rain and not deploy us like the infantry. We have more experience fighting Venin than almost anyone here, and Gryphons are exceptionally quick on the ground. And Violet says, okay, I'll tell her. Kat and Violet and Rhiannon and Sloane, ooh. Now that would be a team right there. That would be a team. Strong women. Okay, I need to get back to stressing. That was just like a fun moment. Back to stress. God, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Stop. Okay, Justina just ran up to Violet because she's been translating the journal. They're trying to figure out, in the amidst this war, the whole thing they're trying to do is give Brennan and Justina time to like guard that ward stone and figure out how to activate it. And so Justina runs up to Violet and she's like, I think I found the difference between the two, but I think Lyra's journal is a lie because it says that there are supposed to be 7 dragons, and that's like the only difference she can find between Lyra's and Warwick's. And Violet was like, no, that has to be wrong. 7 dragons is impossible. There are only 6. Black, blue, green, orange, brown, and red. The 7th is gonna be Andarna, because you know how Violet keeps seeing her in different colors. She's seen her in blue, she's seen her in like with green, I think sometimes yellow hints, and she always thinks, oh, it's just like her scales are shining. She's gonna be the 7th, because you know how she can blend in really good? Apparently that's what we've just learned. She's gonna be the 7th. Stop. There's no way that's not it. That has to be it. Oh, and the sage is here. The one that Violet sees in all her nightmares. Fix the ward stone. I know it's Andarna. It has to be Andarna. There's no way it's not her. That's why Violet just blocked her shields, because she doesn't want Andarna to know that she's the missing piece, because she might put herself in danger, but I think she is. There's no other answer to that. It has to be her. Act on it, fix the ward stone, win the war, or the battle. Her mom's actually gonna side with her against Melgren right now. He told her not to go to the ward stone, and she said, this is my school. I said wait, and he says, it's my army, and there is no waiting. Xaden goes, technically half of it is your army. The other half is mine, and seeing that you had no problem having my father executed, I have no problem leaving you to die if you refuse her help. I love him. He says, you want to walk with me, Violet? Melgren goes, where are you going? They're about to attack. I'm buying her the time she needs, and they won't attack. Not yet. They're still waiting. What are they waiting for? Me. They're waiting for Xaden. Oh my god, I'm scared. Oh, at the top of the chapter, there's always stuff from like documents or letters. And this is one of the letters from Liam to Sloane. And it says, you're going to love Violet. She's smart and stubborn. Reminds me a lot of you, actually. You just have to remember when you meet her, she's not her mother.
God, I miss him. Oh my god. The dragons can only contribute to one ward, and since the times that Violet has tried, it hasn't actually worked. That's why those dragons can come together again and ward here. But if they get this ward up, the one back at home in Samara, that area, Ryerson House, none of those dragons can make that ward work if this method ends up working. And so Violet's like, if you had to choose correctly, raise the wards here at Basgiath or ours, what would you choose? And then Xaden doesn't answer. He just looks at her, and Violet goes, you have to choose. I only have the resources to fully raise the wards here or there. I can never take that choice from you. And then he goes, you ward wherever you are, which is here. And she goes, but you're home. And he says, you are my home, and if we all die here today, then the knowledge dies with us anyway. Ward Basgiath. Alright, that's... Oh, so the other dragon isn't Andarna? I don't know, I thought she'd play a part. It's Koda. Koda? What color is he? I'm confused, because I actually thought Andarna was going to be the 7th. Oh, is he the oldest dragon? I don't know. It is Andarna! Wait, pause, what? Violet says, I know, I should have known earlier. The second I saw you after resin, I knew something was different about the sheen of your scales, but I figured I'd never been around an adolescent, so what would I know? Andarna goes, different? She cocks her head to the side and steps out of the darkness, her scales shifting from midnight black to shimmering deep purple. And Andarna goes, that's exactly how I've always felt. And Violet says, it's why you feel like you didn't fit in with the other adolescents. It's why you were allowed to bond. Gods, you told me yourself, but I thought you were just being an adolescent. Andarna says. Violet says, I should have listened to you when you said you were the head of your own den. That's why no one could fight your right of benefaction last year. Why the Empyrean allowed a juvenile to bond. And then she says, say it, don't just guess. Your scales aren't really black. And Andarna goes, no. Even now her scales are changing, taking on the grayish hue of the stone around us. Oh, then Andarna goes, but he is, and I so badly want to be just like him. He doesn't know, only the elders do. She lowers her head, resting it on the ground in front of me. Oh, she wanted to be just like Terrence, so she didn't tell anyone. Oh, that is adorable. Violet says, you didn't have to hide. You could have told me. And she says, if you didn't figure it out, you weren't worthy of knowing. I waited 650 years to hatch. Waited until your 18th summer when I heard our elders talk of the weakling daughter of their general, the girl forecasted to become the head of the scribes, and I knew. You would have the mind of a scribe and the heart of a writer. You would be mine. She leans into my hand. You are as unique as I am. We want the same things. You couldn't have known I would be a writer, and yet here we are. You are not a black dragon or any of the 6 that we know of. You're a 7th breed. And Andarna goes, yes. I was right! Ah! Terrence says, you must save yourself. I choose you not as my next, but as my last. And should you fall, then I will follow. Oh my god. Riders die if their dragons die, but dragons don't have to. But Terrence said he will. He'll follow Violet if she dies. Oh my god. Oh, they just stopped her from making the wards work. She just risked her life and you're just gonna... Xaden's dying. Violet can feel him dying. No. It says, I'm not really here. I'm dying on the battlefield. The last of my strength fading, burning, consuming my body, but it will be worth it to save the one I love. Violet. What is happening? Violet's mom, Sloane, is sucking out the power from Violet's mom, I think, to fuel the ward. Wait, is she risking her life right now? There's nothing I wouldn't do to keep you safe, do you understand? Everything was to get you to this moment when you'd be strong enough. You're everything we dreamed you'd be. All 3 of you. And I'll get to see him soon. Her mom is dying for her kids. She's gone. She risked her life for her kids. She always said she put her kids first. Wow. So her mom risked her life to get the wards up, and they're finally up. When Andarna moves, my gaze wanders up the mended ward stone to the iron flame that burns black on top. It's all that's left of my mother.
Wow. Most generals dream of dying in service to their kingdom, but you know me better than that, my love. When I fall, it will be for one reason only, to protect our children. Stop. Stop. They did it! Yay! Why am I sad? Rhiannon came and hugged Violet. Ugh. Okay, Violet is finally going to see Taryn and Xaden, because she knows they're alive, but obviously she wants to see them, so that's what we're at now. There's a laceration across his upper back, but that's all I see as I walk to his side, keeping my toes a few inches from the edge. Violet said, "What happened? I killed him." His voice is flat, and so is his expression, the noon sun cutting away almost every shadow from his face. "I'm sorry I wasn't there." I reach for his hand, but he tugs it away. "I'm not. You saved us. My mother saved us." His eyes slide closed. "I'm so sorry. She killed your father. Why would you be sorry?" I swipe at another tear that leaks out. "I don't want her dead," he says softly. "I could never want anyone you love dead." Oh my god, what is he gonna say? I just fought an entire wyvern army, dark wielders and raised wards, losing my mother in the process. Please do tell me what could possibly be scarier than that. "You love me," he whispers. "You know I do." I grab hold of his hand and my stomach twists when he turns towards me but lowers his eyes. What's out there that I should be scared of, Xaden? What did he tell you? What do you see? What could he know that has him this shaken? Slowly he drags his gaze up my body. It feels like it takes years for him to just look at me. He finally does. I gasp, my hand tightening on his in reflex. No, that single word is all I can think, feel, scream internally as I stare up at the man I'm hopelessly in love with. "Me," he whispers, a faint, almost indistinguishable red ring emanating from his gold-flecked onyx irises. "You should be scared of me?" Oh my god, what? No, no. His POV? What is happening? Oh my god, what is happening? Did he turn into a wyvern or a venom? What? No. Oh my god, no. What? Where is he going? Where is he going? Stop. No. 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 Why is Jack confident? No. No. Is he the same as Jack now? I'd rather die than become one of you. And yet you just did. Jack laughs. All this time you've been convincing everyone you're the hero, and now you'll be the villain, especially in her story. Welcome to our screwed up family. Guess we're brothers now. No! He's a venom? What type of magic is this now? He's a venom with powers, rider, dragon, flyer, signet, double signet, hybrid, shadow wielder. And Violet's gonna be like, go ahead and share your secrets. So, you know Jack? He's like a brother now. Yeah, we are both turned venom. Mm-hmm. Come on, bro.
So, I finished Iron Flame. Wow. I don't even know what to say. That ending, Xaden being a turned venom, that was not something I was expecting in any way. But still, I really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it. If we're comparing Iron Flame to Fourth Wing, definitely would say that I liked Fourth Wing more than Iron Flame. And I'm not gonna rate this yet because I don't know what to rate it. It's gonna be between like 4.25 to 5 stars, somewhere in that range. And whenever I get it final, I will update my Goodreads ratings. So we don't have an official rating on this yet because I just finished it. I loved it. There was definitely a lot more politics and world building in this book, and I will probably have to look up videos to kind of understand it more. But for the most part, I was able to understand the vibe and have a good awareness of what was going on. But wow, a lot of stuff really took place in this book. I do wish it was more fast-paced, but it was still really good, and a lot of the world building and politics stuff that took place was needed, and that tends to happen in fantasy books. There is usually that book in the series that is just a lot of world building, and it's like necessity, but not always your favorite. This one still had a good bit of action in it, but I could definitely say probably close to half of the book was a lot of world building, politic related type of things. But y'all, I loved it. The ending was insane. Like, that, wow. I'm gonna be in awe, and once again will be thinking about this for forever. Thank you guys so much for coming along with me throughout this whole journey. This video is gonna take me a very long time to edit, so I hope you guys enjoy it. And feel free to follow me on my Instagram Instagram and TikTok because I will post a bunch of book content on both of those. That concludes this Iron Flame reading vlog. I love y'all so much, and I will see you for more fun book videos. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!